What's the dumbest way mall security has ever tried to get you arrested? It was my 17th birthday, and instead of hanging out with my friends, I was spending the day at the mall with my grandma Margaret, and honestly, not a bad plan. She's the kind of grandma who once bought me a PlayStation because I casually mentioned liking video games. Being with her at the mall is like having a VIP shopping sponsor. We wandered into a jewelry store she loves, just browsing. She had on her favorite necklace, a sapphire piece she'd bought from that exact store the year before for about $3,000. She was proud of it, always polished, always worn with matching earrings. After a few minutes of looking at earrings and bracelets, we headed for the exit. That's when chaos hit. This mall security guard, Scott, came barreling toward us like he'd just cracked the case of the century. He couldn't have been more than 22, wearing a shiny badge, chest puffed out like he was training for a police academy movie. He stopped right in front of us, pointed at Grandma's necklace, and said, "Ma'am, take off the stolen merchandise immediately, or I'm calling the police." Grandma blinked at him, completely baffled. She told him she'd bought the necklace from this same store a year ago. Scott wasn't having it. He crossed his arms and repeated, louder, that she needed to surrender the stolen item right now. I thought it was a prank at first, but Scott was dead serious. Grandma tried to explain calmly that she had the receipt at home, that she's a regular customer here. Scott doubled down, saying her excuses wouldn't work on him. I pointed out the obvious. All the necklaces in the store were locked behind bulletproof glass. You can't just grab one and walk out. Scott ignored me. He whipped out his radio and called for backup like we were staging a jewelry heist in the middle of the afternoon. Within minutes, 2 more guards showed up. They looked tired before they even reached us. One glance at Grandma, then at Scott, and you could practically hear their souls leaving their bodies. The older guard asked what the emergency was. Scott launched into his big theory that my 70-year-old grandma had somehow managed to rip off a necklace worth thousands of dollars right under the store's cameras, and that he had caught her in the act. The older guard cut him off mid-sentence. He turned to us and explained, with the straightest face possible, that Scott does this all the time. Apparently, twice a week he accuses random customers of theft. Store managers had filed complaints, customers had demanded refunds, and even corporate was tired of dealing with him. Grandma asked if we were free to leave, and the older guard apologized sincerely, told Scott to back off, and reassured us we weren't in trouble. But Scott wasn't done. He insisted that even if nobody else believed him, he knew we were shoplifters. That's when the older guard snapped. His face turned red, and he told Scott, in front of everyone, that if he made one more false accusation, he'd be looking for a new job. Scott finally sulked away, muttering about how nobody respects security anymore. Grandma shook her head, patted my arm, and said this was the most excitement she'd had in months. Then she bought me a $200 watch from the store next door, loudly telling the cashier, "See, we can afford things." The rest of the trip, Scott trailed us from a distance, staring like he was waiting for us to slip up. Grandma leaned over and whispered, "If he follows me into Bath and Body Works, I'm making him carry my bags."